One day while exploring Samuel's inventory at Foundation, we discovered the plan to craft a person named Solomon Hardy. He costs a staggering 4,000 gold bullion. The curiosity got the better of me, and so I bit the bullet. After learning the crafting recipe, we can head to our camp, whereupon we find a new item to place: Solomon's Medic Station. I found a nice spot for it here, beneath my eye charts. And while waiting for him to arrive, we can harvest from the garden. Eventually, a bald guy in a lab coat named Solomon Hardy appears at the workstation.
Hey there. You have a second? I was hoping to talk to you about something. I'm Solomon Hardy. I'm a doctor and initiate with the Brotherhood of Steel. I've got a proposition for you.
We can pass a Brotherhood of Steel reputation check to say, Ad Victoriam, Initiate. How can I be of service?
Oh, you're that vault dweller that's been helping us out. Ad Victoriam. I guess I'm in luck.
Or we can say, how can I help, Dr. Hardy?
Please, just Solomon is fine.
Or we can say, tell me why I shouldn't just blast you away right now.
Because I might just blast back. I'm sorry. I think we got off on the wrong foot here. Let me explain.
Or we could say, proposition? This some kind of get-rich-quick scheme? Because if so, I'm in.
No, I'm afraid not. There isn't much money to be made in my profession anymore. See, I signed up with the Brotherhood for a chance to help people across the country. But now that we're stationed in Atlas Observatory, my ability to reach patients has been limited. I'm looking for a safe and relatively clean place to store supplies and catch my breath while on the road. If you're willing to let me spend time here, I can offer surplus supplies and some medical services for as low a cost as I can afford.
Low cost? You mean you'd still charge even if I give you a place to stay?
Believe me, I wish I could just give it all away, but I need to be able to buy more supplies myself. At the prices I can offer, I'm already at risk for paying out of pocket.
How do I know you're not just lying to me?
Well, I don't really have much proof, but I'm not really asking for a handout or anything. Hopefully my services can speak for themselves.
Or I could just steal all your supplies right here, right now.
You could, sure. Wouldn't be my first time fending off a would-be bandit, though. You'd also have the whole Brotherhood knocking your door down. I wouldn't recommend that.
Sounds like a noble cause.
I suppose so. It's just the right thing to do. I've got the training, and people need my help. I appreciate the sentiment, though. I just need a small spot for myself. Stay out of your way, and I'll be around if you need any assistance. We have a deal?
Sounds good, Solomon. Make yourself at home.
Thank you. This will give me the chance to help a lot of people. I really appreciate it.
All right. Looks like he's sticking around for a while.
Thanks again for letting me stick around.
You're welcome, buddy.
It's good to have a place to rest for a bit. Long trips on the road really take their toll. Sorry. I just reminded myself of toll roads. Ugh.
I want to know more about you.
Want to get personal? That's fine. That's fine. I'm not paying rent after all. Okay. Couldn't hurt to answer a few questions. Ask away.
Hold on. Who said I wasn't charging rent?
Would you look at the time? I've got a very, sick patient. Gonna need to review these charts here for a few hours. Maybe the next day or two.
Where are you from?
My family goes back generations in Detroit, but my path has led me all over. I can thank the Army for that one. When the bombs hit, I was about a year from getting my MD at a university well away from home. I traveled all around after that, before bumping into Paladin Romani's group, that is.
Wait, getting your MD? So you're not actually a doctor?
Well, if you're asking if I was able to get a piece of paper and the title before the world turned sideways, nuh-uh. Time wasn't on my side there. But the world has changed a lot since then, and you could fill a library with the sort of nonsense ailments that our wonderful wasteland can produce. So am I a doctor? No. But am I a doctor? You better believe it.
You said you used to be in the Army?
Truth is, I come from a long line of doctors. But growing up, it never stuck. Lost interest in school. Couldn't make the grades. The Army felt like a place I could make a difference. So I enlisted right out of high school.
Should I be worried that my doctor couldn't make the grades?
Well, hold on. That's not the whole story.
And how did that work out for you?
Well, not the way I would have guessed. First time in active combat, me and a few guys from my unit got separated from the group. Artillery fire brought a whole cliffside down between us and our base. About 20 minutes later, when I found myself stitching up our medic, the calling finally caught up to me. Maybe it was in my blood. Maybe saving lives just felt more rewarding than taking them. But that experience changed things for me.
So you just learned surgery in the middle of a battle?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Having two doctors as parents will teach you a few of the basics. It's not like I performed open heart surgery on the spot. A piece of shrapnel hit her in the thigh. It was causing heavy blood loss.
Sounds like life had a plan for you.
I don't see myself that way. Nothing so grand. But my medic survived. I flew out to the Capitol to get a few medals pinned on my chest, and then my CO pushed for me to be enrolled in OCS. Spent a few years on the track to an MD when a certain apocalyptic occurrence brought it to a premature end.
Thanks for sharing, Solomon.
Thanks for listening.
Or we could have said, sounds like a load of bullcrap.
Doesn't make much of a difference to me, to be honest. But next time you're bleeding out from the ears from some swamp fungus, I just might charge extra.
Solomon is quite the name.
Tell me about it. My parents helped run the chapel at their hospital. The runner-up for my name was Ichabod, so I think I got off pretty lucky with Solomon. I like it, though. Makes me feel wise. Maybe a little wiser than I actually am.
You mentioned being the occasional therapist. What's that about?
I guess it's a side effect to having a good bedside manner. Patients tend to open up to me. They just need someone to talk to. From rookies to top brass. Everyone just needs a chance to be vulnerable. Since even the most routine checkups can leave you buck naked save for a flimsy gown, cultivating vulnerability is already my forte.
What kind of things do the Brotherhood of Steel need to talk about?
Under that armor, they're just normal people like you or me. They've got aspirations and anxieties. They worry if they're doing enough, or if they're doing too much, or if they should be doing anything at all. Their determination might seem steel-clad, pardon the pun, but they're very human at heart.
Top brass? Is it someone I know? Dish out the details, Doc.
I don't think breaking doctor-patient confidentiality is in my best interest. But you should talk to them yourself. I couldn't tell you much about the members back in California, but the folk that came over with Paladin Romani are good people. I tell you, they've got some stories.
I wanted to talk about the Brotherhood of Steel.
Sure. I don't know if I'm a model member, but I can try and fill you in as much as I can. It's the least I can do.
What do you think about the Brotherhood?
As a community, I think they're fine company. As a team, I don't think I've ever felt safer.
And what about as an organization?
What? You mean like their ideals and methods? There's some elements I can wholeheartedly get behind, that's for sure. Teamwork, structure, discipline. Just like my Army days. There's some other elements that worry me, if I'm being honest. I'm comfortable with how this group here thinks, but, well, from the literature I've gotten my hands on, it seems like things are run a little differently in California. I think the metaphorical chain of command is getting awfully taut, if you catch my meaning.
So that's it? Just a group that can keep you safe?
Knowing the people around you have your back means everything these days. I don't think a single member of the Brotherhood would disagree with me on that. Ideology aside.
Things are run differently in California? How so?
Now, I only know what I've read. Initiates like me have never actually been a part of the California Brotherhood. We were picked up along the way. But from what I gather, there's a lot more talk about hoarding technology than helping folk. How did that holotape put it? Help protect people from themselves? Something like that. I can appreciate where they're coming from, but my obligations are to help people by, well, helping people.
Almost sounds like you're talking about mutiny.
Mutiny? Well, don't be putting words in my mouth. I don't think it's that serious, but I do think the folk out here take good advantage of the autonomy that the distance provides.
Are you okay with their methods of reclaiming technology?
Well, that. I don't have a lot of thoughts to share on that. Or at least, I'm cautious about sharing what thoughts I do have. I just know this. I joined this group because it was the best way I could help people across the country. Taking away a few plasma rifles here and there. I can sleep at night if that's the cost.
That's great information. Thanks, Solomon.
Anytime. Just, don't make me regret sharing what I did. Not everyone is as keen on discussing the way things are done.
So why did you join up?
I had spent the last 2 decades wandering to every burnt-out settlement and smoking crater in the ground I could find. The world was in need of healing, and I had the skills to do it. But I could only do so much alone. I'd hear about a community with some sick kids, or someone with a chronic illness. If I went to help, I would be turned away. They didn't want to risk letting some stranger into their mix. And I don't blame them, really. It's a rough world out there. But when I saw the Brotherhood roll in, people could not turn them away. Reminded me of my time in the army. Where we went, there was a sense of safety, security. I wanted to take advantage of that. Help people on the road. Sure enough, they led me to plenty of people in need.
Let's talk about your medical services.
Of course. Just tell me where it hurts.
I'm bleeding all over. Think you can patch me up?
That little scratch. I wouldn't waste your caps treating it. Come back when I can see out the other side.
If we're actually wounded, he'll heal us if we choose this option. Hey, Doc, I think I've taken too many rads. Can you help?
You seem fine to me. Drink more water, try and get a good night's sleep.
And if we were actually irradiated, he would remove our rads by choosing this option. I'm feeling a little sick. I think I may have come down with something.
You seem fine to me. Drink more water, try and get a good night's sleep.
And had we been diseased, he would have cured our disease by choosing this option. Hey, Doc, have you gotten the inoculation to the scorched plague?
You mean that ingenious use of America's finest soft drink? Of course. I haven't had the chance to thank your overseer or the vault dweller that provided the sample. But we owe them our lives. And look on your face. You're not telling me. That was you?
I'm just glad I could help.
Wow. You saved a lot of lives, you know. Remind me to buy you an ice-cold Nuka-Cola. This time, without your antibodies in it.
Or we could have said, who, me? Couldn't be.
Okay. Well, I could see why the creator of Nuka-Cola, My Blood's in It, might want to remain anonymous. Tag for branding aside. Appalachia wouldn't be around today if it wasn't for them.
I'd like to buy some surplus wares.
Sure thing.
And Doc Solomon here sells Buff-Out, Mentats, Radaway, and Stimpaks at a reasonable price. That's it for Solomon Hardy. Though he does have unique things to say each time we try to talk with him.
The Brotherhood can be a little intense to be around all day. Enjoying the solitude out here keeps me balanced. Feeling lightheaded? Think you've got the chills? Arm hanging on by a thread? Well, I can help with most of that. Ad Victorium. How can I be of assistance? I can't even begin to describe how rewarding it is to help those in need, but I feel like the war really robbed me of the chance to leave the office early and play golf. The doctor is in. Sorry. The views near Atlas are breathtaking. Not that I don't like the spot you picked out here, I mean. This is nice too. Before you ask, no, I don't have any lollipops. Here to restock or just a checkup? A healthy dose of conversation is nice too. Would you mind if I tried out a few experimental stim pack mixes on you? Never mind. So, did you need something? Treating a sick patient is already immensely challenging, but these mutations amplify every issue. How do I treat a sprained goat leg? Is it supposed to bend that way? Sorry. Did you need me for something? Paging Dr. Hardy, eh? Well, I don't have a medical degree, so that joke falls flat. How can I help? I'd remind you to wash your hands, but, you're likely to catch something worse from the sinks these days.
Like other allies, from time to time he'll wander around our camp and use the facilities, play some instruments and so on, and every now and then we overhear him muttering to himself.
Note to self, look for a renewable resource for making gauze. Tried mole rat hide? Ugh, Apple, they keep the doctor away my ass. The lies spread by orchard lobbyists. It would be great if I could find some heirloom seeds for broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Kids these days need more greens to complain about. I think I can make a few more stops before resupplying at Atlas. Need to remember to bring a gas mask next time I stop in the ash heap. People need to think twice about venturing into the mire. Pretty much guaranteed to have the smallest scratch turn into a serious infection out there.
Solomon Hardy was added to the game with the Steel Rain DLC. Originally, he was only attainable by reaching rank 50 during Season 3, The Scribe of Avalon, which is that season mini-game within Fallout 76. The game within the game. After Season 3 ended, he became available for sale on Samuel's inventory at Foundation. I have strong opinions about the camp items and the gear that we can collect by doing the seasons. I don't believe Atomic Shop stuff is canonical, and some of the rewards we get by completing the seasons are so far-fetched that they really shouldn't be canonical. I include Solomon Hardy here because Solomon Hardy is canonical. Not only is his lore pretty consistent with the lore of the Appalachian chapter of the Brotherhood, as we've come to know it during this series, but he's actually referenced by at least one of the canonical characters we meet during the story of Steel Rain. And so I figured it would be best for us to get to know Solomon before he's mentioned by other characters later. But that cost me all my gold bullion, so guess I'd better get back to grinding. Stay tuned for the next episode in the full story of Steel Rain. I publish new Fallout videos each and every week on my channel, so if you don't want to miss that episode, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you have already, but you still feel like you're missing out on YouTube notifications, consider following me on Twitter at Oxhorn. I update Twitter manually with every new piece of content that I publish. I've got a shirt shop with completely unique designs that you can't find anywhere else. My designs come on shirts in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes, and in a wide array of colors. You can find them on other products as well, like smartphone cases, pillows, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. YouTube members and patrons on Patreon gain access to a private channel on my Discord server, and YouTube members get little badges that appear next to their names in the comment sections of my videos, and access to ox emojis that they can use in the video comments and in the live chats of my live streams. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with the next episode in the full story of Steel Rain.